the first of the last 10 signs to occur, according to the Prophet Muhammad, is called the changing of the sun, or the sun rising in the west. And it's kind of strange because all those who are talking about the coming of the new age or the signs of the end of the world, especially the Mayans, refer to this concept of the changing of the sun or the sun rising. So when you look back at the actual text of what the Prophet Muhammad said almost 1,500 years ago, you find that he said the major sign that will occur when the world will be finally woken up will be that the sun will set and it will go dark for about 3 days. And after the third or fourth day of that time, it will rise in the west from the opposite direction. And so when you look at what the actual Mayans say, you find that that's almost verbatim what they say. That you're going to have a dark period of a few days and then the sun's going to change sides. So then you have a debate on whether is the Earth going to change rotation and we're speeding up to the point and then going to turn around, or is there going to be a pole shift, or are we talking about a whole different type of spiritual awakening where there's going to be a totally different new sun? And, well, this is all the unknown, right? This is the whole mystery. And I think what you're seeing in a lot of people is the two sides. Those who try to be good to others, right? Do unto others as you'd want done to you. Those who actually have pure hearts, they look at all the catastrophe that's going on in the world and they see, okay, something's coming and we know it's leading up to something big, but we all think it's something good and we're hoping that it's something good and we're working towards something good. Those who actually have fear and hatred in their hearts, they think they're coming towards the end of the world and the apocalypse. And it looks like, if you look at all the spiritual communities, whether it's the Mayans or the Navajos or even the followers of Muhammad or the Christians who talk about the rapture, it looks like we're getting ready to get to a fork in the road, Mike, where there's actually going to be a separation, where something's going to happen, some kind of change, some kind of alternate reality, some kind of split, where those who are pure of heart go one way and those who are not go some other way, right? And then then the conspiracy theories just start. I mean, is it aliens going to put us on a holodeck and transfer us to another planet, or what's really going on, you know? Who really knows? Is it a plan of some dark force, or is it the plan of the light? And what are you scared of and what are you willing to accept? It's kind of almost a personal journey that everybody has to go through, what they call the dark night of the soul, you know?
Right. You know, and I've talked to many who think that 2012 is going to be a spiritual awakening, and then others who talked about Planet X, wormwood, if you will, and the destruction that it's going to cause, and pole shifts, and ocean rising, and so on. And I guess if all that happened, it would certainly be a spiritual awakening. So I suppose either way you go, they're both right. Me, myself, I do believe that Planet X exists. I do believe it's out in our solar system. Now, as far as the destruction it's going to cause, I really can't comment on that because I don't know. But it does, you know, you look back in the history of this planet, and there has been catastrophic events before that has wiped life off of this planet. So you got to wonder if we're coming to that mark. And, you know, you look, I don't know if it's just technology that gets the stories out more, but every time you look in the news, every time you turn around, somebody's killing somebody, somebody's starting a war with somebody, and you almost, and then the floods and the earthquakes, and you start to think, you know, is it true? Is it really getting near the end?
Well, you know what's funny is when you talk to spiritual people, they'll tell you, how do you actually learn anything as an individual? You know, something really, really good happens to you. Do you get a really deep lesson from it? No, you just kind of have a really happy day, and the next day you're kind of the same. But when something really bad happens to you, it alters your perception of everything, and you have to make dramatic life choices. And so a lot of times people think, you know, a catastrophe happens, and they're like, God, why did you forsake me? You know, why did you cause this catastrophe? Well, in actuality, it's kind of a test for you to rise yourself out of it. So then if you see it that way, what starts to happen is the more you start to see troubled situations, you look for the silver lining, and the more you look for the silver lining, you find it. So the same occurs for a whole planet and a whole world. Or where are we in the world? We're at the point where everybody's getting ready to meet this kind of peak point. And so when we say we're heading to the cross in the road, or when the Mayans say we're getting ready to the shift of the light and the dark, or the Native Americans, you know, that draw that cave drawing where the two peoples, one go in and one go out, or one go up and one go down, they're all telling you depending on who you are, you're going to make a personal decision. How much of the final tribulation do you need before you recognize your own soul? And as soon as you recognize that, then you're almost done and you're released, right? So the world changes for you. But at the same time, it does look like we're heading towards like the grand finale or the season finale of the big show, you know?
It sure does. It sure does. I mean, and then it's just, I mean, there's been earthquakes in places where they don't normally have that stuff. And, you know, I had a guest on last night who was talking about that the earth is actually moving, that it's shifting, the plates, the ground under our feet. And, you know, it just makes you wonder. I don't know. It does seem like storms have gotten stronger. I know there were some tornadoes in my area, and we never get tornadoes here. So, you know, I don't know. Is it another El Nino? I think the Earth goes through phases myself, and I think this is one of its phases, and whether it rises the oceans or not, I guess we'll see. I'm looking to purchase a boat soon just in case.
Right?
Yeah. Can't be too safe.
In case, you know, get a few animals 2x2.
Yeah,
Who needs a ride? All aboard?
Yep. I'm going to call it Michael's Ark, and you're going to do my best to stay afloat. Maybe fight with some of the pirates.
It's sink or swim time, Michael.
Yeah. So I guess in my opinion, I think there are going to be some changes here on this planet. And again, I can't say how catastrophic they're going to be, but I think that they will be in certain areas. And that's my thought on it. As far as Planet X destroying the planet completely, I don't know about that. I hope not.
Yeah, if you talk to all the spiritual enlightened people, whether it's Christians, Muslims, Jews, they all talk about the same thing. They all talk about a coming tribulation and catastrophe and natural disasters and earthquakes. But as far as the Earth being totally destroyed, everybody's unanimous. No, the Earth doesn't get destroyed. You might think it's the worst time on ever, and it might be so, but there's always going to be a tomorrow.
Yeah, there is always going to be a tomorrow for somebody.
The sun might turn up on the wrong side. It's coming, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, Saleem, I want to take a quick break, and when I come back, I want to talk about the soul and astral projection. And I want to tell everybody else, the number is 347-989-1012. Feel free to call in. Any questions, comments, you're more than welcome to call in. 347-989-1012. I'm Michael Vera, and this is Late Night in the Midlands, and we'll be back in just a moment, so don't go anywhere. It has been one heck of a ride through 2009 and coming into 2010. Yes, folks, Late Night in the Midlands is not your typical radio program, because we don't cover just one thing. We don't cover just a couple things. No, folks, we cover everything. Late Night in the Midlands. You have.
I think that, it's a hoax.
www.latenightinthe.midlands.info.
President
Joe Biden.
selling the United States to the highest bidder.
Area code, you are on Late Night.
I want to tell you a ghost story. Is that okay?
You are on Late Night in the Midlands.
Hi, Michael. How are you?
I am fine. How are you?
reading a book, and when I found out you were coming on, I had to put it down to listen to you. Can you believe that?
That's awesome.
Late night in the middle. We cover everything.
And thank you, too. This has been quite a ride. And trust me, folks, it's just begun. Late Night in the Midlands on Blog Talk Radio. Yes, thank you very much. I am Michael Vera. This is Late Night in the Midlands, and we are on Blog Talk Radio, at least for now. And my guest is Saleem. And again, the number is 347-989-1012. Feel free to call in. We're talking everything from pole shifts to astral projection, reincarnation, UFOs. We're pretty much going to cover it all. So feel free to call in on any of those topics tonight. So, okay, Saleem, we are back. And now you have a show of your own that you're getting ready to go forward with, don't you?
Well, we have on our website a video series that we do. The first one that we did was called Stories of the Prophet. People could go to the hotconflict.com website or just go to YouTube and look up Hot Conflict or my name's Saleem Siddiqui, and all the stuff that I do is free. You know, anybody can look at the archives there. Hours and hours of audio and hours of video content telling the spiritual stories of the prophets and a lot of the supernatural phenomena from the historical point of view, because a lot of this stuff comes back to the actual gospel or the actual holy books and the actual concept of what is your soul and what is the point of a journey of any individual, or is life just a bunch of random, meaningless days, or is there an actual purpose to your life? Is there a destiny or a fate or providence? Is there something that you're trying to achieve, right? What is your soul about?
Exactly. Well, I know what my soul's about. My soul's about settling down and getting this show going on WOIC. So that's what my soul's about right now.
Yeah, exactly, right? Everybody's motivated and is passionate about their own thing. Like, your passion and my passion is almost the same. We're both speakers. We're both communicators. We like to talk to people. I mean, I do kind of the same thing that you do. You know, we're online. We're on radio or on TV trying to get the word out because we want people to just start thinking, you know, put together the ideas, especially now where, because of the Internet, because of all these new mediums to express yourself, the communication level has never been this easy on Earth. We're at the point where you and me can talk to anybody on the world, and they can call us at any moment right now and ask a question. And this didn't used to be possible in the olden days, you know?
Oh, I know. This is some great technology, and I got to say, I'm glad it wasn't around when I was a teenager because, God, I don't know. I might be comatose in a basement right now if I had this kind of technology then.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, you know, for example, even me myself, when I finished high school, I then traveled to Egypt to go study the language. Because in those days, there was only a few books translated from Arabic to English, and if you wanted to learn anything else, you got to go learn the original language. And that was the early 90s. By the late 90s, 2000, there was the Internet, and almost everything was translated, and you could just search it up online. And now the idea of having to translate something is almost non-existent. And so the world has dramatically changed, and just within our very eyes. But, you know, you don't notice it because you're waking up every day, and it just changes just a little. And that's the same thing with the journey of the soul. What is your soul about? And a lot of the conversations, whether you're talking about any of the spiritual guides, when you get to that fork in the road, the peak of the spiritual journey is called what? Ascension, or the rapture, or the enlightenment level, apotheosis. The ability to go up to the next level in the heavenly realms, or the next level of enlightenment without physically dying, right? Everybody knows, well, if there's an afterlife, you die, you get there because you're dead, so you're going to where you go after you're dead, you know?